Yes, job people, this is Michael Shamai representing. I will say, Haile Lion voice, saying it is time for the lions and the lionesses to tell their own story. King David killed Goliath with a stone, we original dread.
The time has come for the lioness to tell her own story.
Yo, this is Pagabens and time have come. The lion will tell them one story. This is the Lion's Voice. Stay tuned.
The fittest of the fittest shall survive. My people, open your eyes. Wake up. Blessed love, this is Queen Omega representing for all lions and lionesses. With the lion's voice, we come to tell our story. Rastafari, live it. Hey, the lion's voice, Rastafari.
The doctrine, the culture of the Bible, the patriarchy in the Bible is not of African origin. There are things put into the scripture they got from Kemet, like the sayings of Solomon, Proverbs. We know it came from Amenemope. The Purim Heru was what they adopted to their culture, and they created the books of Moses, the what we call the Torah. Now, in our story starts not with Kemet, but it starts to the south, what we call up south.
The year is 1892, and the land of Ethiopia has been experiencing 4 years of terrible famine and drought. They call it the Kikuken, or the evil days. At least 1/3 of the human population and 90% of the cattle have died. The hyenas have feasted on so many carcasses that they have become overweight and barely able to move. Just when the people could take no more of the evil days, a woman named Wasiro Yeshimabe is giving birth in a place called Erjersa Gora. This is her 9th attempt to bring forth new life. Her previous 8 attempts only resulted in death. Will this child live? Thankfully, a healthy baby boy is born. His first cries are drowned by thunder and lightning flashes across the night sky. The heavens open up and torrential rain starts to fall. Ethiopia's drought is over, and the baby boy is given the name Tafari, meaning one to be feared or respected. Tafari's father, Ras Makonnen, is a very important man in 1892 Ethiopia. Although he is overjoyed at the birth of his newborn son, he cannot spend much time with him. Ras Makonnen is the governor of Harar and must get back to the famous walled city to deal with its affairs. Furthermore, he is the foreign minister of Ethiopia, and having traveled to different places in Europe, he is very aware of the material and military advances they have made and the looming threats they pose to his country. Ras Makonnen knows that the majority of Ethiopians have no idea what is coming, and that he has to work that much harder to secure the realm. Tafari would grow up to become the legendary emperor, Haile Selassie I. To understand his journey, we must first understand the Ethiopia that he was inheriting, and what it was like when he was born in 1892. Get your copy of Kwesi Bansu's book, Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1, The Rise of the Priestly Warrior Kings, and increase your knowledge about the history, politics, and culture of Ethiopia in 1892, and how it connects to the rest of African and world history at the time. Haile Selassie I, Ethiopia, Volume 1 is available for purchase at www.bookmanexpress.pub. Please visit for more information.
The doctrine, the culture of the Bible, the patriarchy in the Bible is not of African origin. There are things put into the scripture they got from Kemet, like the sayings of Solomon, Proverbs. We know it came from Amenemope. The Purim Heru was what they adopted to their culture. And they created the books of Moses, the what we call the Torah. Now, in our story starts not with Kemet, but it starts to the south, what we call up south, because the first accurate map drawn in the world by Muhammad al-Idrisi of the 12th century, Africa was at the top of the map. That was the right perspective because Antarctica has land covered with ice, and Iceland, Greenland is bare water, a lot of water, and a lot of ice. So obviously the water sinks to the bottom. So it was always viewed that Africa was actually the civilized top of the earth. So the River Nile ran from south, the longest river in the world, over 4,000 miles, runs from the highlands, from Lake Victoria, um, Ethiopia, Lake Tana, and they go down to the Sudan. So our knowledge came from inner Africa, like I said, from the Twa. And then because when the Europeans came to Africa, it was the first time they saw a national deity. At that time, all villages had their own deity, and you couldn't intermarry in those villages. So when they came and they saw this 42 nomes or 42 cities come together making one federation, and that was the beginning of African unity. Some may think African unity came about after colonization, but African unity was happening all back then. The different gods we have are the different deities of each nome, of each city. The nome, there was a nome, and the deity was Amun. The next one, the deity was Ra. Next one was Heru. Next one, Set. Wunet, the hair. So we had different deities related to our totems. So these are things you don't find from the Eurasians. You don't find from Europe. It's confusing because Europe is not as we know, it's not a continent. It was called Eurasia. You know? So we see that the civilization coming from the south, going to the north. At that time, pure Africans. And later on, we have the invasions by the Hyksos, who Josephus claims were the Jews, or maybe ancestors of the Jews. And then you have, because it was after the Hyksos were defeated, then later on came the writings of the Torah. So these people came into Africa and got our first spiritual writings. And then they went back and created it to suit their culture. The culture of barrenness, the culture of spoliation. This is what we see in the Bible. Go, they don't know me, they don't praise me, kill them, take their women, and take their booty. So we see a whole different, Diop calls it the two cradles system. The cradles of the north and the cradles of the south. So we see the Ankh in South Africa, thousands of years old. We see Nabta Playa, which is 5,000, 6,000 years old. Then we have Adam's calendar, I think they call it Bio Brashkal. That's over 70,000 years old. So at that time, there was no story of Jehovah. There was no story of Yahweh. The Jews were not yet into existence. So our story is unfolding. So we cannot claim, as especially as a Rastafari people, which is a very young people. If you look the science of the Kenga, of of the um, the Congolese, you have sunrise, noon, sunset, and rebirth, midnight. Kala, Tukala, November, and Musoni. Right now, we are in still our sunrise. As a people, we have not matured yet. So we cannot claim to know the fullness because our African history is in the middle of being unfolded. So what I find with Rastafari is that a lot of Rastafari, they've forgotten their history. Not only African history, but the history of the Rastafari movement. Some Rastas say we started smoking marijuana because of the Indian. No. Some of them say that a bongo man is a man with big dread. No. Rastafari started not with Christianity, but with Kumina.
Yeah, Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Tell the people about Empress Mene. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood. But when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. That light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war we stand tall. I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see their city streets them flood. When the hurricane blow down our wall, I'll be by your side and me nah budge. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your light was a lifeline. I think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. The Almighty, I made your light shine and unto I. Your love was a lifeline. They say hurt people, maybe that's why Babylon them so evil. Maybe Babylon abused as a child. That's why them no like the light when you smile. That's why them no like how your body curve. The way how you dance get on Babylon nerve. Them no know how the Almighty you serve. Want to be a queen so a king you deserve. And I'll be by your side when things get worse. When the city flood cause the dam just burst. When you can depend on no state or church. Firm like a Menin and Haile Selassie first. So even when the stars they fall.